Five, four, three.
Good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and usually with me, my hetero life mate, Oh My Feelings. But today, we're pre-recording this because I'm actually in the States right now having a blast somewhere in probably Yosemite by this point. But never mind that. What is the Reel McCoy, you might ask? The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go and watch a movie. You watch it, come back to us, and we break it down for you. Today, we, probably on Twitter, I was gonna say you should watch Gone in 60 Seconds. And to talk about that movie, we've got Vex Electronica. How are you, girl?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on. How are you doing?
I'm fine at the moment. Tell us, Vex, what are you doing with your content creation? What are you up to these days?
Well, I'm on everyone else's live streams except for my own. uh, I've
All
got two
right.
channels though. I have the main channel Vex Electronica where I kind of do movie and TV critiques, mainly of just kind of what's popular at the moment because that's very algorithm friendly. And then I do have a gaming channel as well, which has kind of slipped behind just because gaming does take quite a bit of time, which 2023, unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time for. So slowly bringing that out from the graveyard. And I also do a podcast every week on Spotify with another friend of mine. So I'm all over the place, but I dabble in a little bit of everything.
All right. Cool. All right. We kind of had a back and forth on DMs
Mm-hmm.
because we I told you we're going to do this pre-recorded, and you said, "Well, we're we're I'm going to probably aim for either Oblivion or Gone in 60 Seconds." And I was like, "Gone in 60 Seconds is pretty perfect because during March, we're covering Nicolas Cage movies from
Oh,
like all time. So 90s and then a bit later on,
hmm
2000s, and some really newer ones like Pig, if you've heard of it. I think
that
it's
was a good
from
movie. I quite enjoyed that
2019.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's surprising. I was surprised on how good it is because Pig is one of those movies where he did for just to get paid,
hmm
but it was also like an artsy movie, and it was really good.
and it comes
But yeah,
together really nicely. Like I thought that was just gonna be like another Nicolas Cage. Oh, Nicolas Cage is in it, so it'll be entertainment. There you go. And I
yeah,
was like, oh
but
dang, this is actually oh, I'm crying a little bit. Oh no.
yeah, it's a very not Nicolas Cage movie. But yeah, so Gone in 60 Seconds. We're like, that's interesting. I haven't seen that in a while. You seem pretty enthusiastic about this thing, so let's go into it.
hmm
I've managed to watch this movie twice this week, but once was enough. And
This movie does not hold up well.
oh yeah, and we're gonna go into it in just a second. But first, we need to go through our first segment of the night. It is called Behind the Screens.
Sound production, take two.
Behind the Screens is usually where we turn to All My Feelings for his lowdown on everything that is behind the screens and behind the scenes and everything like that. But
hmm
today's just me. All right, and we begin at the beginning. The movie is a remake of a 1974 movie bearing the same name. It had a few changes, a few tweaks, and that to update it into the modern. By the way,
hmm
2000 movie, so modern it is. There were some disagreements about rewrites later on in the film. So they started shooting, they started doing some rewrites, redones. There was a lot of arguments with the main writer. So he was let go, and they brought in Jonathan Hensly and a small unknown individual called J.J. Abrams to
Oh.
just wrap up the entire thing. Which,
Ugh.
yeah.
Ugh.
Now you see the footprints of what the hell was going on with this movie.
Yes. hmm
Uh, Angelina Jolie, her part was written especially for her. They approached her with a project. She loves cars. She was not doing anything at the time, and I was like, let's do this. She literally came off of Girl Interrupted. She was looking for a project. This was that.
hmm
And the bike she rode into, so kind of storming in, was just like, okay, let's do this heist.
Yeah.
That bike was extremely rare. There were only 300 of it made ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope it
Right.
didn't get damaged on set. Do we know if it got damaged on set?
Not the bike.
Okay.
Something else got damaged on set.
That's
What?
interesting that that part was written specifically for her because I mean as we'll come later to discuss, she doesn't really have any significance in this movie aside from just kind of being a de facto love interest, and they don't really develop her. If anything, she kind of looks like a meth head in this movie, which I was like, oh my, how do you make a woman like that look like that? First of all,
But Vex, she looks great in the posters to sell the movie.
yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
Right.
Height of her career, right?
Yes. Again, this is right after Girl Interrupted,
hmm
which was like, do you know that style in Hollywood? It's not so much prevalent anymore, but it used to be very much like you do one movie for the soul and one movie for the money. This one was for the
Oh,
money.
gotcha. Okay,
Ah, yeah.
makes
In the
sense.
original script, there were scenes that were exactly match to match to the 74 version. One of them, and they were changed a little bit, of course.
hmm
One of them called for Nicolas Cage to be disguised as an old man while stealing Eleanor, but they decided to forego that. So
Thank
they
goodness.
was like, yeah, we can skip. Like some of those scenes were they had to change them in order to escape that sort of I want to be like 74, but I don't want to be like 74. One of the scenes they did keep was the scene where the cop, the black cop, played by Delroy Indu,
Hmm.
um, where he kind of surprises everybody, and then he goes into the car and he revs it up to get rid of the heroin or cocaine. That was straight out of 74.
All right.
Mhm. Christopher Eccleston, who played Raymond Calitri,
Hmm.
he uh, he was speaking in his native Lancashire accent. He convinced the director to actually have the Lancashire accent in order to, because at the time, a lot of British people that came over had two accent. One was the Cockney London accent, and the
Yeah.
other was like the posh accent. They call it the posh accent. It's basically the British version of whatever you talk on TV. So
Yes.
proper English. Um, if you know British people, they probably call it Southern Fairy, uh,
I've
Southern
never heard
Fairy
that.
accent, or just Southern accent.
All right.
Yep. He also said that the movie itself was terrible, and if you look at it and you think, "Wow, Christopher Eccleston really shot the bed in this movie," he said that you're probably right. This is the worst movie I've ever made.
He doesn't again, same thing as Angelina Jolie. He's not really there. They just kind of add him in so that there's another conflict almost, at least for the movie to continue aside from the police officers and the time constraint and the general, crime stuff going on. So he doesn't have a moment to shine as a villain really, which is unfortunate.
Until he falls into his own creation.
Oh, that was so oh my god.
I
That
I
whole
I I have I have I have a point that I want to
okay.
make, but we'll
Okay.
make it. Right.
Okay.
So Angelina Jolie, Delroy, Scott Caan, Giovanni Ribisi, and Nicolas Cage all went on extensive training with a stunt car driver called Bobby Orr. He's got a big
Mm.
school, and he does stuff in, I think he's in Arizona. So they went and did training to just drive those cars. Um, and Nicolas Cage liked it so much, he extended his training uh even before the movie, during the movie, and after the movie. He just liked driving fast and reckless, but within a track. So he didn't didn't go crazy.
Okay.
He went crazy in the track, but he liked the sort of like race car driving and driving are completely different things. So you just go off the rails.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. Will Patton, who played Atlee Jackson, was cast 2 days before he was supposed to start shooting. When he showed up, he went to the director and said, "Do I need to like prepare myself? What do I do to prepare myself?" And the director, Dominic Sena, said, "You're gonna do your preparation on set and in front of the camera. Go,
Oh.
go."
Huh.
All right, cars. Let's mention cars because there's a ton of like little bits and
Lots
pieces
of
here.
cars.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So there's a long list. All the cars have names. All the
Hmm.
cars are updated. Some of them are updated. Some of them left as is.
Hmm.
Um, the ultra rare F1 McLaren thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that wasn't a McLaren. That was an XJ 202 Jaguar. They just couldn't get the McLaren because it was ultra rare and there was none available for rent.
So,
Plus, they can't.
sorry. Oh, go
Go
ahead. Go
ahead. Go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh no. So wait. Did they say McLaren, but it was actually a Jaguar?
Yes.
Oh
Not only
no.
that, they had two Jaguars that looked exactly the same. One of them was named Stacy. The other one was named Hillary. However, there are in two different. They're literally the same car was delivered twice
Oh no.
because of a mistake. Also, the XJ202 Jaguar
Hmm.
was listed on the board as Nadine. Yeah,
Uh,
a little bit of a mistake.
a little?
Yes. Right. The 1997 Ferrari 355.
Hmm.
Yeah, there weren't any Ferrari 355 F1s in 1997. It was 1998.
Oh.
That's a bit of a mistake. Like I said, little tidbits, but this entire movie is literally for gearheads, and they like made so many mistakes when it comes to the cars.
Those are
So
very
many mistakes.
colossal mistakes too. When, like you said, that is your prime audience.
Yeah.
That's.
Think of it
Ooh.
as the we'll get to that, but the Fast and the Furious audience,
Yeah.
and you get something wrong with like an engine or a car or a make or a model.
They'll rip you to
The,
shreds.
exactly. The Chevy Venture, the big kind of suburban car that they steal,
Hmm.
there's a mistake there because you can't actually open the boot from inside of the car as they did. There's a touch. It's a touch thing that you do only from the the back or through
Oh.
a button in the sort of the driver's console. So that's yeah. It's like little mistakes, right? You
But
asked me about what?
yeah, these are all mistakes, like especially with the Cadillac. Like we see an entire scene focused on that Cadillac, so you can't. You shouldn't be messing up things like that, especially when it is the focal point of one of your scenes.
Yeah. So Delroy Lindu, not I said Indu, it's Lindu. Um, he was driving a BMW during the chase
Uh huh.
of Eleanor. Yeah, he totaled that car. He crashed that car. Like
Oh
he
my
ruined it
gosh.
completely. Um, do you remember the scene where they steal the Hummer with the snake in the
Yes.
car
Mm-hmm.
with big Vinnie Jones, the Sphinx, right?
Yep.
So the script called for when the cop car shows up, they're gonna nudge it aside and just drive off.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is they nudged it, but they couldn't pass through. So Vinnie Jones decided to just keep going and push the car over. That's a mistake. After he pushed it over and they cut, right?
Uh-huh.
Vinnie Jones went to the stunt driver and said, "That'll teach you."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Balls of steel on that man right there.
Now, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you never heard of Vinnie Jones, right? You know him. You've probably seen Snatch,
Yes, I've seen Snatch.
and you've
Yes.
seen Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. He's there as well.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Do you know about his former career before he became an actor?
No.
No. All right. So Vinnie Jones was a soccer player, a football player in the UK. Not
Oh my
only that,
goodness.
he played for a team that I think no longer exists. It's
Hmm.
called Wimbledon. It's a London-based soccer team. I don't think they exist anymore, but they had a nasty reputation of being really, really, let's say, aggressive. We'll call it aggressive.
Okay.
And two defenders in particular were really aggressive. One of them was Vinnie Jones.
Of
One of them was
course.
Vinnie Jones. Yeah, I think he used to be called Yellow Card Jones.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So how did he transition into acting?
just felt like it. I have no idea about the story, but he's always he is himself in every movie I've seen him in.
Yeah, he doesn't there's no variety there. He's always the
Yes.
same character no matter where he is. Yeah.
If you saw like an interview that he did in like British television when he was a soccer player, yeah, it's
Mhm.
exactly the same. It's Bullet Tooth Tony. It's exactly the
Oh,
same.
I like that. I like that.
Right. The Eleanor chase scene. Most of it was improvised on the spot.
Oh.
They had a location and they didn't have any storyboards. They didn't plan anything. They were like, okay, you drew this and drive here and just do something. And just Nicolas Cage did it on the spot. Some of the shots where you see him just, like playing with the paddles,
Yeah.
they've inserted that later on. But like the
Oh.
straight chases and all that stuff, they was like, okay, you drive from here, you do this, you do this. We're good? Yeah. Shoot, action, go.
Wow.
No storyboards, no nothing.
That's actually really impressive. Wow.
Yeah. You usually, especially when you're doing location shooting, it's like to the T.
That's
Especially
in Los Angeles of all places too. You
uh,
don't really have free reign of that that place for shooting.
exactly. Uh Most of it was improvised because Nicolas Cage was doing most of the stunt driving for the entirety of the movie. The jump
Okay.
he didn't do. The jump was a stunt guy. Even though there were murmurs, he probably wanted to do it, but they wouldn't let him do it
Safety issue. You
because
can't kill the star, right? There
no,
you go.
you can't even jeopardize the star because
Yeah.
the insurance won't cover you.
Mhm.
So when it comes to Eleanor, there were 7 Shelby GT500, which is this car,
Yeah.
replicas made for this movie. 5 of them were completely totaled. Like the one that jumped, that was
Yeah.
done. That was crashed.
Oh
It
no.
it completely crashed. And 2 survived. One of them went to Cage. The other one went to Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer of the movie. Cage drove it a lot. He loved it. Jerry Bruckheimer never drove his car. Ever,
Why?
ever. He said, I'm afraid of it. Yeah.
Oh, Jerry. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
The shop that was making the replicas, I think they were situated in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
They got sued by the Shelby company
Oh.
and they won.
Oh.
Yeah. Shelby, like, they sued them for like copyright infringement because the body looks like a Shelby GT.
Yes. Yeah.
But the Shelby company couldn't win. They lost. The replica company won.
On what basis did they win? Like, why did
I couldn't find anything.
Okay.
I've seen 3 different sites that kind of like, oh, remember this movie? Yeah, they got the replica company got sued, but they won. And that's it.
Interesting.
That's the only details I've got.
Huh.
Yeah. 2 fun facts. One, in the Eleanor chase, he presses the nitro button and he just goes. Yeah. A true gearhead said, well, the car at that speed, he looked at you see the dashboard, so he can
Yeah.
like see the RPMs and the speed. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you press that at that speed, at that kind of RPM, the nitrous wouldn't do anything. It would just go into the system and not ignite. It needs to be hotter and faster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And he said, but it looks cool.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And another fun fact that'll bring us to the end, Timothy Oliphant, the guy who plays the second detective, the young like hotshot detective, he was the first choice to play Dominic Toretto in Fast and the Furious,
Really?
which came out a year later. However, he declined being Dominic Toretto because he didn't want to get typecast as the guy who plays in the car chase, in the car heist movies. So it went to Vin Diesel.
I wonder how his career would have changed.
Timothy Oli
Actually.
Fantastic is a wonderful actor that does
Yeah.
just what he wants.
I like that.
Yeah, he's a very actor, and he's a very insufferable individual in real life, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Oh, he seemed like such a nice guy. Oh, he's a butthole in real life.
He's a mega he's a diva actor. He's like one
Oh
of those
no.
actors that wants to like stay in the moment. That's why like I know everybody likes Injustice. I think it's
Yeah.
Injustice. I've only seen like 4 or 5 episodes from
Justified.
the first Justified. That's it.
Mhm.
I've only seen like 4 or 5 episodes. He's really good at it. I just didn't like the show on the whole. So it
Gotcha.
wasn't like wasn't for me. But he's good in it. Yeah, that kind of brings us to that. Awesome. So, Vex, when was the first time that you've seen Gone in 60 Seconds?
So this came out in 2000, right?
Yep.
So must have been like a year or two after that. I
All
remember
right.
seeing the trailers on TV because there's the one scene where I can't remember the character, the black guy with the hat. He encounters the robber and he's like, "You need a role model, right?"
Oh,
I remember,
yeah.
right? Like I remember that being in the trailer. So it must
I
have
think the
been
actor's name is Chi McBride.
okay.
Chi. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. So it would have been probably the year after that, or 2001, 2002. So I was maybe I would have been 9 or 10 when I saw it the first time.
Oh my God, I feel so old. Do you want to know? I have not seen Gone in 60 Seconds in the theater. I
Okay.
watched it. I'm not sure if it was a VHS, like the tail end of the VHS,
Okay.
or a DVD. I don't remember. Uh, but it was like 2001 or 2002. I might even seen it on cable, to be perfectly honest, for the first time. Because I was in the army when it came out. I was like
Oh,
20. I was like 20, maybe
wow.
21. Yeah. Uh, and it was one of those movies where if I was going out and more regularly watching movies, it
Hmm.
wasn't this. It's not something I would go and watch, not because it's not Nicolas Cage, because I love Nicolas Cage. Like in the 90s was like my jam. It's like Con
Hmm.
Air, Face Off, 8mm. It's like not Snake Eyes, all that. It was like I love Nicolas Cage,
Hmm.
but he's not the draw for me for this movie because I saw the trailer and it was like, okay, I guess. So I wasn't in a hurry to watch it in the theater. I was like,
I
I'll
gotcha.
wait. It's fine. And when
Hmm.
I saw, it, I was like, yeah, I'm good.
It's a good thing I didn't go to the theater for this.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm pretty good because it's not the best.
It
Rewatching
definitely
it,
isn't.
I can't say it's terrible, but it's really a on the whole, it's a throwaway heist movie.
It I agree with you. I think it's at the it holds up for its time, if anything, and it's fun just to kind of like turn your brain off and maybe look at some cars for a bit. But I think if you just turn your brain on a little bit, then it all starts to fall apart. So I can't help but just like just
Yeah.
follow all these details, and it just like on rewatch because I hadn't seen it. I can't even remember the last time I watched this movie. So I just had like this really positive association with it because I enjoyed it as a kid. And it, oh my god, it is terrible. It is a really bad movie. It,
It's doing the show. We've done it for I don't know 100 plus episodes.
hmm.
Me and my buddy and a few guests that we had on the show had a few of those movies where we either not this particular one, but
Yeah.
we fondly remembered something watching it as a kid or as a teenager or even as a young adult, and then coming back to it and was like, oh, I'm excited to watch this week. We're gonna do this. Okay,
Uh huh.
sit down and watch it. I was like, why did I like this? Like I can see again. I don't mean like terrible B movies that make no sense. You know, one of
Yes.
those horror movies that come up late at night and were done on a shoestring budget and they're actually not good.
Hmm.
There are merits to some of the story beats, but it's not as like I fondly remember this, but it's probably like tinted glass and kind of looks rosier than it really is.
Agreed. Yes.
Not it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens. It
Hmm.
happened for us last week when we did a live show. It was Time Bandits. I remembered it fondly, and it was not good at all.
The 90s Time Bandits?
No, 1981. It's a
Oh,
Terry
okay.
Gilliam movie with some of the cast of Monty Python.
Okay, I can see the poster in my head. That's why I
Yeah.
haven't seen that in a hot minute either. Oh my.
Yeah, a lot of people love that movie. I appreciate the Gilliam stuff because
Hmm.
it's Terry Gilliam and he's very visual and very like avant-garde and crazy, which
Yeah.
I like some movies. However, the story there kind of falls flat.
Ugh.
It
Oh
happens.
no.
It happens. All right.
Yeah.
Before we dive deep into the scenes and all that stuff, let's play our first game of the night. It is called Missing Marquee. Loud. Missing Marquee is where we take 10 posters of movies, have their text written off. I display them, and Vex will have to guess which movie this is. I will share my screen.
Oh. Oh
There we
no.
go. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. There
This
we
is where I
go.
make a fool of myself. Oh, okay,
Oh,
hold on. I know
stop.
this one. Hold on. This has to be Fast and Furious, right? One of them.
This is one of them. Which number? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's
Hmm.
not Tokyo Drift, and it's not Fast and Furious 2, because Vin Diesel did not do those.
So maybe Fast and Furious 3?
No, 3 is Tokyo Drift.
Oh, 3 is Tokyo Drift. Oh god.
Yes.
I don't watch the Fast and Furious
I
movies.
don't like them either.
Okay, 4?
It is 4, yes.
Okay. Oh, Kill Bill,
Which volume?
Volume 2?
Correct. Volume 1 has her in the Bruce Lee yellow suit.
Yes, yeah. Oh, Tropic Thunder?
Not Tropic Thunder, but Tropic Thunder imitated this.
Oh,
This is an 80s movie with Tom Berenger, William Dafoe, Charlie Sheen, Johnny Depp.
it's not
Very small
Platoon,
role,
is
but
it?
yeah. Hmm?
It's not Platoon, is it?
It is Platoon, correct.
Oh, okay. See, this is where I make a fool of myself.
Oh, don't worry, you're doing fine.
Okay. Is that's Al Pacino? That's a young
That is
Al
Al
Pacino,
Pacino.
right? With the necklace. Oh,
Yes.
oh.
Plays a cop.
I'm not sure, in all honesty. I'm not very. I haven't watched enough Al Pacino movies to know this one.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
This is Serpico.
I think I saw half of that movie.
Okay.
I haven't watched the whole movie yet. Ooh.
90.
Oh. Meet Joe Black.
No, it's not Meet Joe Black, even though Pitt is in both of those movies.
Hold on. That's
It's
Dustin Hoffman
Dustin
there.
Hoffman, De
Right.
Niro, and I don't remember the name of the other guy.
Ooh.
It's a terrible story about stuff that happened in Brad Pitt and the other guy's youth. It's called Sleepers.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that. Haven't watched that one at all.
Okay.
This is Superman Returns.
Superman Returns is correct.
Oh. This isn't the Val Kilmer one with the.
This is definitely not Val Kilmer. No.
No. I know this is Tommy Lee Jones, but it's not the military drama. You can't handle the truth. It's not that one.
No. Tommy Lee Jones is not in that one either. Nor is Val Kilmer.
Really?
You Can't Handle the Truth? No, that's A Few Good Men. That's Tom Cruise.
And Jack
and
Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, Kiefer Sutherland, and Kevin Bacon.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one.
All right. This is not really the sequel to The Fugitive,
Hmm.
but it's basically the same character as the cop in Fugitive with Harrison Ford. This is
Yeah.
called U.S. Marshals. It's with Wesley
Also,
Snipes
a
and
movie I've
RDJ.
yeah, also a movie I have not watched in full, but I know my dad really likes that movie.
It's pretty good.
I have no idea what this one is.
This is Yul Brynner,
Hmm.
and this is the original Westworld.
Oh, the
Yes.
60s one, right?
I think 68.
Okay. Oh, this is
Think.
American Psycho.
American Psycho is correct.
Oh. Oh.
This is a 91 or 92 movie starring Warren Beatty, has Madonna in it, and Al Pacino. And this movie, uh, in this movie, Al Pacino turns from the Godfather Al Pacino into what we think of when we do impressions of Al Pacino.
Is this the movie that where Warren Beatty and Madonna were dating at the time?
Yes.
Um,
And the rights to this movie, or the rights to the character in this movie, still belong to Warren Beatty. And
ooh,
every year, he trods off in this costume to make sure he retains the rights,
I like
just to
that.
fuck over the people who made this movie.
It's Truth something. I know Truth is in the title.
Not truth.
No?
Nope. It is Dick Tracy.
Oh,
Dick Tracy. It's
I remember
okay.
that
It's
they
all
dated.
good.
So there's a point.
The movie is not great,
Hmm.
but it's one of those movies where it's like if you've watched The Room. Have you ever watched The Room?
I
It's a
have not watched it. That's a
terrible
Tommy
movie.
Wiseau movie, right?
It's a Tommy Wise. It's you're tearing me apart, Lisa.
I've
That
seen
or
like
the High
clips.
Mark.
Yeah.
That movie.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's not as terrible as that, but it's one of those terrible movies that you really want to watch because of the performances, especially Al Pacino. He's the Al
Okay.
Pacino we know from today.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Noted.
All right. So, Gone in 60 Seconds.
Mhm.
We'll put you back in that mood of Gone in 60 Seconds. It starts off with just introducing us to the new crew. So,
Mhm.
introducing us to Kip. Oh, of course. No. No. We have a scene for this. It kind of introduces us to Kip and the new crew
Mhm.
as they steal the I think it's a Porsche Carrera, one of
Yes.
those, right? It's one of those, and they get to the warehouse, and of course, they get trailed, and they kind of they bring the car to Atlee. Atlee's the one who's waiting for them in the garage. They have the
Mhm.
black light with like all the names of all the cars, and that's kind of getting us started. And of course, they find out. They have to get away, and the
Mhm.
cops come in, including our boy Delroy Lindu, which I forgot his detective name. I
I don't
I
remember it either.
I forget names like that.
I
So
This movie doesn't do a very good job of like aside from oh my god, Memphis, right?
yeah,
They don't
Memphis
really
and
do a
Kip.
yeah, they don't do a good job of really kind of getting you into the groove of all the other characters. So like I don't even remember most of the cast. I don't even remember Angelina Jolie's character's name, and I just watched the movie today.
Yeah,
It's so much thrown at you.
her name is Sway. I think
Okay.
Sway, Sphinx. I don't remember the name. The actor Chi McBride. It's the black dude with the hat, the wise
Yes.
guy, the
The
funny guy.
wise.
I
He
don't remember his
is
name.
Donnie.
Donnie. Yeah, Donnie. Right. I'm surprised I remember the actor's name. Usually I remember the character name, but not the actor's name, but it's fine. Um, so both detectives kind of walk in, and there's nothing for them, basically nothing for them to see,
Hmm.
except for they see the broken blue light stuff. The guy picks one of the detective kind of picks it up as evidence. He doesn't know what it is,
Hmm.
and he sends it off to the lab, and they have that sort of back and forth about, oh, we should have caught them, we didn't catch them. And of
Yeah.
course, after that, uh, we get introduced to Memphis,
Hmm.
and he's entertaining the kids, and then sends them off to, you know, ride some go karts, like enjoy themselves. As Atlee comes in and tells Memphis, "Well, look, dude, I know you're out of the game, but your brother is in trouble. He kind of promised to do a boost, and he failed
Yes.
miserably,
Hmm.
and he needs you to save him."
Hmm.
Now, Kip doesn't actually ask for Memphis to come and save him because
No.
Kip doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Like,
Hmm.
for most of the movie, he doesn't know what's going on. He's just basically pretending to be a booster
Yeah,
because he
he's just
knows how
kind
to
of there for
drive.
the ride, in all honesty. He's competent, but yeah, he's just there for the ride, basically the whole movie.
Yeah, and the one thing that we don't know at this point is we don't know why Memphis is gone.
Hmm.
Either he's like, if you're coming to this watching fresh, you're like, okay, maybe he went to, like, he got caught, he went to jail,
Hmm.
and the cops were like, okay, you have to stay away from LA or whatever. We don't know what's going on, but it is a point of contention throughout the movie where Kip doesn't know what's the real reason why Memphis went away,
Yes.
and Memphis doesn't want to tell Kip what's going on. He
Yes.
keeps him in the dark for a lot of what's going on because he wants to protect. He's his big brother. He wants to protect him, right?
Hmm.
So he goes to Raymond Calitri because he thinks Calitri is like your typical villain, right? Your typical villain. He went on a job, does didn't do the job. What, how much you wanted to pay him? Just gives them the money. It's like, okay, done. The score is settled. It's done.
Yeah.
And Calitri goes on a rant about, I'm a carpenter. Jesus was a carpenter. It's like, why are you bringing up Jesus now? And he's like,
So
oh, look, I've
silly.
made a nice little coffin for you. Not for you, but it's like, I've never made a coffin before. Look, it's a nice coffin. Look at the interior. He's like opening it up. It's like, where is this going? And it basically doesn't go anywhere.
It's like it's just kind of like foreshadowing, but it's really sloppy foreshadowing because we don't, aside from this scene here, we don't see this guy again basically till the end of the movie. So
Basically, there's a few
yeah.
moments here and there, but not really. So there's no the only pressure you have is the time and the cops. Because Calitri is like I wanna, give you a chance. And he just takes him outside. It's like, oh, look, Kip is in the car. By the way, he owes me 60 cars and 50 cars, sorry. And I need him in 72 hours. So you want to, like, save your brother or what? He
Hmm.
gives him an impossible task. And Memphis is like, fine, I'll do it. It's like he reluctantly to keep his brother safe. And this is throughout the movie. He wants to keep Kip out of trouble. He wants to keep him alive, and he wants to keep him safe
Hmm.
because we know it later. He promised his mom that he would not fall into the same life as Memphis because, basically it's to save the mom too. So she
Yeah,
doesn't
keep
have
the
a heart
family
attack.
together in
Yeah.
some way at least, right? Yeah.
So the task is this, and you can feel it in the movie. Everything is going fast, 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 way faster than it should be. Like accepting the task, okay, fine. But immediately going out and like, okay, I need men. Who do I go to? Okay, I'm gonna go to my mentor, who's like is like a legit detailer now. That's the Robert Duval character. By the way, he actually went to a detailer for like 3 days just to learn how they do what they do and work with them to, you know, feel the sweat on your brow kind of thing. Robert Duvall
Oh.
is a cool, legit actor who's not Timothy Oliphant kind of crazy.
He's
He's
actually
not this.
nice.
He's actually kind of the same offset. He's just not the character he's playing. Like
Gotcha.
I don't know anything. It's like he doesn't know anything about cars, right? And he did Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise as the head mechanic guy, right?
Wow.
It's just him laid back kind of a dude, but he brings it to the character. In this case, as soon as Memphis kind of tells him, "Look, I need this thing. It's for Kip." He just, at first he says, "Well, no, because I'm a detailer. I've got a legit life now." And then he kind of like, I need to save Kip. Otherwise, they're going to kill him. And it's like
Yeah.
immediately, okay, we need people. And everything is fast, fast, fast. They got list of names. They're going through the phones like, okay, we're going to call this, and that. It's like, this guy's in jail. This guy's dead. This guy's, and at the end, all that's left is literally the two people that they really don't want to call. A,
Yes.
it's Sway, and B, it's Sphinx. Because why not?
They really rush us through that, and I actually kind of wish that the film had, like, on rewatch, that it had taken a little bit more time, because as we get into the actual, like a good third of the film is them just stealing the cars, and us being shown that there's a lot of conclusions that you have to just draw as to how they found out where all these cars were, how they got all this information so quickly, how seedy is this whole car theft situation in LA. I feel like I would have liked a little bit deeper into that world. That's all. Because as you see it all play out, you're just like, oh my God, this is so dumb. This is so silly. This would never happen.
It's so crazy because the movie is 2 hours. It's an hour 57 runtime, which is including the intro, including the the the
Credits.
credits, right?
Mhm.
The problem is about 15 minutes, 10 minutes, sorry. 10 minutes is just the Eleanor chase.
That's crazy.
Yeah, about 10 minutes. It could be like 12, but it's around that 10-minute mark. It's like
Mhm.
that's a big chunk of the movie
It
that
is.
that basically very little dialogue. It's just a car chase. It just goes on and on. It really goes really on and on and on. So there's a moment where they chase him through the LA River where he presses the nitro,
Mhm.
and he just goes off, and then they meet him up somewhere in a different part of the city, and then
Yeah.
they chase him to the bridge, and then he jumps over the bridge, and that's basically over. He gets
Mhm.
to Kalitri. That's about 10 minutes of the movie. That's a big chunk
He
that they
still gets to
dedicated to
Raymond
that.
Calitri, even though, like, in several of those scenes, we see a helicopter chasing him.
Yeah, and to be fair, I didn't include it in the behind the screens thing,
Mhm.
but they the helicopter should have like got to him.
Yes.
They mentioned the fact that it's close to LAX,
Mhm.
which is, even if it was close to LAX, he can technically get very close to the airport and not disturb sort of the airspace with
Yes.
with a helicopter, especially when it's basically very, very low in the sky. It's not
Hmm.
like disturbing
He's not
the.
interrupting any
Yeah.
flight paths or anything like
Plus,
that. Yeah.
he can always have the tower. There's always a communication with the tower. So
Yes.
they said it's a plot point that they needed to get rid of the helicopter, but he's there just for that river chase. And that's about it. When they
Yes.
kind of start off with the entire chase. And yeah. So everything kind of happens. He goes to Sway, Memphis goes to Sway's shop and she rebuffs him. Then he goes to her bar and she rebuffs him again. And at this point, you were like, if it's the first time you're watching this movie, you're like, she's probably gonna join. But if she's not, I got duped on the like poster of this movie because she is there. It's like her, Nicolas Cage, and Giovanni Ribisi, which is Kip, on the poster. Not him. The cop, the black cop, and I was like,
Um, not professor, detective. I don't want to say detective black guy, but we'll say detective black guy for now.
it's Delroy Lindo.
Okay, Delroy.
That's the name of the actor. He's
Okay,
a pretty good actor.
Detective Delroy. There you go.
The first time I've seen him, I think it was Get Shorty. Have you seen Get Shorty with John Travolta?
I have seen Get Shorty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he still acting or is he still alive? Because I can't recall anything
Travolta?
from the. Yeah,
I think so.
because
I'm
I
not
haven't
sure he's
seen him.
actively acting. He's got
Yeah.
the man has a tragic life.
Oh,
Like a
really?
real heartbreaking tragic life, this man.
Oh no.
But Travolta, don't you know? He lost his kid, and
Oh
then
no
he
no no! Not
lost.
Travolta. Not Travolta. The black detective
Oh,
guy.
Delroy?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Okay. No, I know Travolta is still on and off acting. It just. I think he's just he can if he can take it he'll take it, but he doesn't really need it anymore, right? But no,
Yeah.
I'm aware the kid, his wife died several years ago as well. The
No,
ski
that's
accident.
yeah, Travolta lost his
Yeah.
kids, lost his wife, lost his straightness, whatever.
Is that confirmed now?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost the wig, which he told everybody, "I'm not wearing a wig," which is just like Shatner. Yeah,
Mm.
Shatner's like forever, like from the 70s. No, I'm not wearing a wig. I'm in TJ Hooker. That's my hair. Like, dude, you can see it. It was the same with Travolta at some point. And then he was like, yeah, whatever. So the whole point with the guys is as soon as they have the team, like I said, it's immediately go, go, go. It's like, okay, let's find these cars. And they have a list of 50 cars. Some of them are really rare. Now, they sold it as the Hummer being really rare. And I was like, in LA, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Ferrari, yes. A Hummer in LA, no fucking way. Don't sell that to me. Not in the 2000s, no.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. But okay, it's fine. We talked about the F1 McLaren, which is not an F1 McLaren, and all that. But they kind of go on and they find their sort of core crew, and then of
Yes.
course Kip shows up with his crew, and they have that sort of a powwow where Memphis at one point is like, okay, everybody shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody listens to me. Nobody takes a peep. Nobody does anything wrong. We're just going to scan and find these cars ASAP, like chop, chop,
Yes.
chop. And he mentions the fact that they need 3 Mercedes with the laser cut keys.
Yeah.
And Scott Caan's character is the muscle of Kip's crew. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, I got this taken care of. And then we see the cops going into that into the dealer and kind of squeeze on him a little bit. It's like, okay, as soon as your guy gets to those keys, you just alert us because I they kind of smell the fact that okay, Memphis is here. They have that altercation which I put on screen where it's like,
Hmm.
I know you're here for a boost. We know what's going on and you're up to something, but they don't know what
Yes.
exactly is. So they get to the dealer guy, get to the keys, and we know as an audience, okay, this is gonna go bad at some point. We can tell as an audience, we know that this is gonna go bad. This is gonna go bad. Okay,
The
this
setup is all there, like clear as day. Yeah.
yeah, those little tiny setup moments are there. We just don't know when that trap would sink.
Hmm.
Especially when you see there's a moment where Rains goes out to that suburban area and checks out the car. By the way, I never understood why they wanted that van. Why it was so special. Never understood it. And I
It's never even explained. I guess they just needed a vehicle to drive. I don't know. I really don't know. But I was wondering the same thing on rewatch because every other car steal is very intentional, and then all of a sudden this van is just thrown in there. So your guess is as good as mine.
t- I was still trying to figure out. The only thing that I could think of is the fact that, and they kind of set up at the moment
Hmm.
where it's a suburban area, so a rich area.
Hmm.
So it's not just your typical van, it's your loaded, like full to the brim, all the amenities kind of a van,
Yes.
which again, I don't know why Kalitri would want that particular one, but okay. But it's an area where there's no cops, but there are private security, and private security is more likely to shoot people
Hmm.
rather than just try and stop them.
Yes.
So that kind of brings us into that area where the sort of the techie guy gets shot because he's not a booster, he's just
Hmm.
deals with the tech stuff. So
Hmm.
he's the one who gets shot. By the way, another fun fact. Didn't write it down. I just read it and it was funny. There's a moment where he's the lookout, right?
Yeah.
The other guys are boosting the car. He's the lookout. There's a girl opening the door and they kind of meet
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she goes like, "Hey." And that's where everything kind of springs up into gear.
Yeah.
Those two are married now.
Oh, don't tell me that's the meet cute that we saw.
No, but it's they have that sort of thing where they're basically opposite sides. They got married. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
And there's a few things that I actually liked where Nicolas Cage does a cageism. One of those things is this scene, which I absolutely love, where he goes to like the rich dealership and he goes like, I have expensive taste and I have nowhere to go.
Saturday
And I
is
was
the
like,
loneliest night of the week.
yes. And he's like, thank you, Cage, for showing up in this movie. I love this thing. It's
I
like
think this was one of the best scenes of the movie, to be honest. Like, because
he's
it's a
like this
it.
bored LA rich guy,
Hmm.
and he's just turns it up into like 11 in Cage levels. And I was like, oh, yes, thank you.
It's great. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. And the guy is like understanding and accommodating
Hmm.
as like a rich dealership should. But he's like, tell me more. What is in your back lot? And because we know he wants, the good cars. And from there, it sets up the opening where we know that some of these cars that are supposed to be rare or very hard to attain,
Yeah.
they're literally sitting in their warehouse so they can just, go, 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 go and deal with the other stuff that is harder to get or more rare. As we see them go from, okay, this is parking here and this is parking there. We know how to get this. And we also get the setup of the two detectives sitting down and waiting for Memphis to, he scouts out that suburban
Yep.
area. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, he's gonna move. He's gonna move. Nope, he's going away. And that happens again where he notices the Mercedes is like, th- this. I can see they can see that the car that is surveilling them is moved a little bit forward to make sure they get a good shot of him. It's like, okay, something's wrong. Memphis is an experienced booster. He knows there's a problem, and that kind of sets off the whole keys thing. And of course, I'm
Yes.
moving forward a lot. I'm
You're
moving
good.
forward a lot in this movie because there's moments here where they kind of skate through, like the Eleanor thing.
Mm.
They set up the Eleanor thing in advance, and I like a nice little setup and payoff. But this was a bit too overt, where they literally take the young pups to see Eleanor, and he's like
Yes.
touching it. It's like, what is the? And they're asking, what's the deal with this car? It's like, this is the one. This is like this is the whale that got away, right? This is
Yeah.
he's Ahab and he needs to conquer this thing that is unattainable because it foiled him again and again and again. And
Yeah, I didn't mind that payoff either. I agree with you, but it's just like it's straight exposition where it did need to happen because it's also really awkward. Like if you're a car thief as well, and clearly you already know that the cops are onto you because you've had an interaction with them so far. Why would you just take a group of guys to go stare at this car in a garage kind of deal? It's weird.
yeah,
It's very weird.
and to be fair, until that moment where he's like, okay, this Mercedes, something's fishy with it. There's the
Mhm.
moment where, like I said, Memphis already told the entire crew, you don't steal anything, you don't do anything without me saying so. And this is like the stage where they're just checking out the place. Sway is coming in. She's gonna be a part of the crew. We got all the crew together. We got Donnie. And one of Kip's friends, basically in the crew, is like, oh, look, I've got this Cadillac I've just brought in. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You're just gonna like we're trying not to steal cars before we need to steal cars. And of course, they've got the detective coming in, and he's not looking for that particular car.
No.
And of course, when they open the trunk, it's full of fucking cocaine and or heroin or whatever it is. And they try to scramble, and stuff falls on the floor, so they get him to go into the car and rev it up so it will blow off all the coke away. And again, this is in the 1974 movie. This was one of the scenes. This is one that they sort of carbon copied,
Mhm.
but in the 74 movie, the cop was there so he can take a glimpse on the board that they had.
Yeah.
And in this one, they hide the board before he comes in. In the 74, you get a glimpse of that board. That's how he knows about the list of the cars. In
What they're
this
doing. Yeah.
movie, because they use that black light, when he gets the lab to analyze the little shards, they
Mhm.
go back into there's a scene where he goes back into the warehouse and he sees all the cars, and that's how he finds out about which car it is. So in the 74 bit, this particular scene that was carbon copied was used for him to find out about the list of the cars.
Gotcha.
In this
Okay.
movie, this scene has basically no merit
Mhm.
except for us as audience to like, oh my god, it's gonna happen. The
A
the
little
stupid
tension, you know?
yeah,
Get
stupid guy
yeah.
stole a car and now they're gonna be found out because it's a hot car and it's
Mhm.
a drug dealer car to boot.
Yeah.
And now this cop is in their backyard. So
And
like,
then they play it off as just like, oh well, now for sure we know that something is going on. It's just like we already know that you knew for sure that something was going on. Yeah, the whole scene is it's not even funny too. Is the sad part because they do try to play it off with oh my god the black guy's character, the funny guy. I feel
the
like he's
young
yeah
guy,
yeah no not the young guy
the detective,
not the detective, the other black guy. Oh my god, this sounds terrible.
Donnie.
Donnie, thank you. Like Donnie's meant to be like a little bit of like the funny relief in there, but it just like I find the humor does not land very well in this entire film. I don't know if you felt that way at all either.
Yeah, it seems like I want to say 2000 humor, but there was good humor in the 2000s still.
Yes.
Uh, one moment is I could definitely tell is this moment where it's Donnie with the young guy who's like,
Mhm.
what do you mean? You don't need gloves. You've got like fake fingerprints. It's the 2000s, baby. You just like it's high tech. Not yet. But yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't play off well. There's another scene further down when we get to it. I'll point it out, but I think that would have had to have been the funniest part of the movie too, and it's just it falls flat completely. But I think that's primarily due to the editing, not so much the humor.
Hmm. Okay. So we've scouted all the stuff that we needed to scout. We've made all the preparations. Everybody's prepared. We've got about 8 hours, 10 hours to go,
Hmm.
and we're ready to go. So why not just stop, put on a song, and just enjoy it and just have this scene. It's the low, I don't remember the name of this,
It's
Low
Lowrider,
Rider.
yeah, ZZ Top.
Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And it seems like Memphis and Donnie and Sway are like in the moment.
Hmm.
And then Nicolas Cage does another Nicolas Cage thing where it's like,
With the hands.
okay, let's go. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? He's,
It's
he's
like
like,
it's a weird hype song, but like it's just again, it's totally out of I think it's just more to show like these are these two crews now that have a very different style of operating coming together finally. It's old versus new, seeing them blend together. But I feel like the scene is only there because maybe someone on set was just you were talking about those rewrites earlier, right? Just like someone saw Nicolas Cage do that with the hands on set and like, how can we work this in?
yeah. How can we do that in our movie? It's literally
Right.
one of I think he does that in Face Off. There's a moment in Face Off he does like
He
that.
does.
Yeah.
Yes, he
So
does.
it's like I really want to have that in my movie. And do it. Just be in the moment. You're like you're enjoying like it's a transcendent moment, and then
Ugh.
you're back in. So you have to do something. And
That
it's
was the
like,
J.J.
and Cage
Abrams
is like,
scene
I
right there.
got you, babe. It's like I got you. So we're gonna start stealing the cars. Stuff happens, and we get this. Like I mentioned it where Memphis goes up to the Mercedes. He has the laser cut key. Every other, it's like Donnie has going to another one, and I think Kip has another one, and
Yep.
he's recognized them at a stakeout. He doesn't see them; he just sees the van that moved forward, and he's like, "Okay, problem. Everybody just walk away. Everybody walk away," and they go back into the warehouse and have that altercation
Hmm.
that leads into them uh so when sorry, in the first scene where Kip kind of boosts the car and gets the cops on him, they impound 3 of those Mercedes and take him into the police pound. So
Hmm.
and they have the new laser cut keys that go with those cars because they already boosted them at the start. We
Yes.
didn't see them boost them, but we know they've boosted them.
Hmm.
And they plan the fact that, oh, we can just go into the police impound and just steal it from there. They're already there, and they're not even, it's just that one guy that we have to go past. So they send the young guy from Kip's crew who dresses up like a pimp. He's like, I need my car. And he's, trying to, he does everything in his power to to make sure that he has full attention.
Yeah.
And it's stupid and hilarious. I'm trying to get to that point. Let me see.
It does compared to because I haven't seen the original version, because I just learned today actually that like right before we came on here, that this was a remake. But have you seen the remake at all? Does it hold
No,
up?
I've read a little bit about it and I've
Okay.
seen a few pictures. It's the same movie in terms of plot points, but it's not the same. Cause again, technology and all that stuff is kind of mixed in together. And the fact that Memphis and the older crew kind of represent the 74
Mm-hmm.
and the young crew represents the 2000s, so like the next generation of sorts.
Gotcha.
That's sort of a marry of the old and the new, kind of brings the 74 into we'll call it the updated version of
Okay.
the 2000s. And
I
that's
gotcha.
like, old crew, new crew kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got this. It's so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. It was cringy.
It
To me.
was. This is another again, humor not landing whatsoever. Even as a distraction, it doesn't, because I'm thinking like the Oceans movies are all around this time as well, and they did the distraction humor far better in ways that actually flow with the general tone of the movie, much better too. But it feels like they're throwing in a bunch of racial stereotypes in here as well, like the black pimp, the with Donnie, just you need a role model, the way he delivers that line, even
Yeah.
the way that it's TJ something is the actor for the younger black guy.
Yeah.
um
TJ
but
Cook, maybe? No.
it's something very simple, yeah, but when he gets the snake in the car, it's the same kind of like over the top, you know black character reaction
It's
kind of
the
feeling.
I was gonna say it's an imitation Chris Tucker. Because Chris
Yes, oh,
Tucker
that's
is
spot
like,
on.
goes crazy and he
Yep,
yells like high
spot on.
pitched yelling, like Rush Hour or Money Talks or
Hmm.
one of those movies. But he doesn't do a good job, and he's supposed to be like the funny dude, but he's not funny,
Yeah.
right?
And he doesn't have it goes back to the filler. Like if we're thinking like Chris Tucker, it's usually there's a little bit of charm built up behind the character before the humor hits, right?
Yeah.
And it's just here, just like we need this guy, we need this humor. Here, we'll just place him there. Again, another way in which this movie kind of fails and kind of a basic like setup for not just the world but all of the other, and that's why I can't remember any of their names.
It's all good. The thing with him is they always put him with like a straight kind of character. So
Mm,
either he's with Donnie or he's with Sphinx or something like that, or he's with the Robert Duvall character, and they're all kind of like don't understand why he's so like erratic,
yeah.
and he's like just chill, dude. Just and then of course they use him as the crazy dude with the pimp out with literally the 70s pimp outfit.
Because that's
Right?
totally conspicuous for
Yeah,
for
literally,
heist.
it's the 2000s, but he's wearing a 70s pimp outfit. It's like,
Oh
this is the
gosh.
pimp uniform. Here you go. I love the fact that one of the things that they put in is like shit humor, basically, because they come back with the keys
Hmm.
and the dog eats the fucking keys, so they have to walk the dog. And if you notice, I don't remember it's Pena. Is it I don't remember his
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena. Is one of his first roles as like this Latino gangbanger who actually knows the Kip's crew, and he comes in as soon as they walk the dog and it's like, oh, Holmes, and he goes like into that whole spiel, and the
Yep.
dog shits, and the kid is like, we've got it. It's like, oh, gross, man. And they just leave.
And
That
then
whole
he
scene made
plays
no
every role
sense.
as well, much like the other Vinnie Jones.
Yes.
He had the same career. Yep.
And to be perfectly honest, that whole scene was completely redundant.
Agreed.
Like there's no that whole Latino gangbang thing was completely off the rails because A, they were not introduced beforehand,
Mhm.
and B, they never appeared afterwards. It just was stupid from start to finish.
It's like another one of those checkbox things. Was like, oh, okay, we need to make it modern, so let's throw in this modern stereotype that we're seeing a little bit more in film.
Yeah.
Even when he picks up the keys out of the dog shit, there's not anything on his hands. He's just holding
Yeah,
clean
he's got
keys.
just the keys.
I'm
It's
like, you guys gave this
magically
dog
clean.
X-Lax.
Yeah. It's magically clean. And by the way, those keys will not go through that dog that easily.
No, not at all.
Anybody who ever owned a dog knows, even with Axlax, that will not go through the dog at
Nope.
all.
No.
Like not
Not
that
all
fast.
three at once either.
Yeah, all three. Ugh. Meanwhile, Memphis and Sway go out and try and steal a car,
Hmm.
but there's the lady that owns the car. She's having sex with open windows right in front. Like she has the house and
Yep.
open windows. They can't steal the car. They have to wait until they go into the bedroom.
Hmm.
So they go into this, their own sex talk is like having sex or boosting cars. Oh, wait, I know, having sex while boosting cars. And that kind of, it
yes.
goes into that whole, they're trying to entice each other with camshafts and like gearhead talk. And it's like,
Yeah.
is this like, gets you up? Apparently, yes.
I could have gone without the scene. I understand that the entire purpose. Again, this is like another one of those check marks. Oh, Angelina Jolie's in it. Oh, we need a little bit of sex appeal because our predominant audience is going to be male gearheads. So we might as well throw this in here. But I would have preferred if maybe they just left out that part and just they still ended up together at the end. I like that bit of mystery. Like we understand that there was a history with them. We know that there's still some sort of attraction with them. She doesn't even get naked. Angelina Jolie doesn't even get naked, so it's not like there's any sex appeal in the scene.
Yeah, there's like, apart from the swearing and a little bit of blood, it's basically PG-13.
Very tame, yes.
It's very PG-13. It's very suggestive. There's kissing and there's
Mhm.
that, like even the girl who they're watching having sex, she's not really having sex. She's wearing a bra at like the lowest point, which is a very
Even like her
tame.
butt, they intentionally show it so just like it's the figure of a woman, but you're not going to see a whole butt. Very
Yeah,
safe.
it's sort
Yeah.
of that. So like it's not really PG-13. Pretty sure it's R, but I haven't really checked.
Well,
It's
let's see what
basically
the rating is.
swearing and violence. Under swearing and violence. It could
Yeah, they
pass
don't say the F
PG-13.
word though at all, so
Uh,
because
if
that's
they
usually at least if we're talking this era of American cinema, that's usually kind of one of the things that will tip you over to the R rating is
yeah,
the F word.
yeah. I think even in PG-13 you're allowed to have a few shits
Yes,
and
now you are. Yeah.
one fuck.
Hmm.
But you know what? If I really think about it, I don't remember them swearing at all. but maybe I don't. I'll check later if it's PG-13, and I'll put it in the description. How about that?
Okay. Yeah,
Anyway,
no, I know they're a little bit tighter with it in this, but I know once we hit like the 2010s, then they
oh
start
yeah,
to get a little bit loose with the shits and the fucks and all that stuff. So,
yeah, it's basically that. So
mhm,
the last thing, so like we kind of cleared over the fact that the two detectives come in and they see the entire list.
mhm,
And we're like, okay, we're going to concentrate on the Mercedes and this and that and Eleanor. So probably it's going to be Memphis. The detective already knows him, so he knows, okay, he's going to do Eleanor. That is our target. That's where we're going to get Memphis. And we get to see that whole suburban uh, truck that they steal,
yeah,
and the rent-a-cops go after them. They shoot the guy, gets hit, I think in the stomach or somewhere soft,
mhm,
and Kip gets basically it's Kip's lesson in this is why Memphis doesn't, this is why Memphis doesn't want you to be involved in this because he doesn't want you to get killed. He doesn't want to go to your mom and tell her that you got killed. Um, and kind of like there's that conversation with Atlee, right? After Kip gets the car to Kalitri, he has that
mhm,
little conversation about with Atlee, and Atlee kind of says, "Well, this is why Memphis took off, not
mhm.
because he was in trouble, not because he wanted to stop. It's like your mom told him to go away in order to protect you." And he kind of
So,
realizes, oh, this is why.
yeah, I didn't mind this scene at all, but it's just like we see the mom at the very beginning where Memphis kind of just like, oh, you've been getting the money I've been sending, what's wrong with Kip and all that. And in that interaction, like on rewatch, you don't really see that what's the word I'm looking for? You don't kind of see that tension come through at all. That this is a mother that wanted one of her sons to stay away to protect the rest of the family. So to throw this in later on in this scene, and it's something that doesn't even come into play really by the like in the climax of the film at the very end
Yeah.
anyways, because Kip isn't there. Even this guy isn't there. It's not like there's any monologue about how family matters or whatever. um so again, it feels like they're just hitting beats because they know, oh, this is what a movie needs, kind of deal.
Yeah. It felt like the reveal was eh. It's a very weak motive. We'll call it that. It's a very, very weak motive for Memphis to stay away. And the reveal is very weak,
Yes.
right? It's okay. Sorry. The motive of is strong. So, keep my brother safe. But the reveal is very weak.
Yes,
Okay.
agreed.
Okay. Uh, all right. We're going to do a stop here because we basically have the ending scene.
Hmm.
And we're going to play our second game of the night. I need to set this up because there we go. I need to do this and that and this, not that. Hey, sometimes, I'm a professional guy. This happens live, by the way. So don't worry about it. All right. Our second game of the night, it is called Screen Fighter.
Okay.
Round one, fight.
Screen Fighter, for the uninitiated, of course, for Vex, is where we take two movies, pit them together, and see which one is the best one. There's no discernible difference between the two. Both of them are good or both of them are bad. We fall into our criteria, which is the end of the day. It's Friday evening, Saturday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with your significant other, husband,
Hmm.
boyfriend, whatever, right? Two movies in a vacuum. Which one will you pop in? We go by this: Mr. and Mrs. Smith or Gladiator. You pick any and this is very important. For this game, you pick any movie of these two that you would want to that you prefer over the other,
Hmm.
and give me few sentences why, and there's no judging.
Okay.
I mean,
If I
I
have to
will
pick,
judge you, but I won't judge you.
understood.
No, no, it's
Yeah. Between these, I'm gonna have to go Gladiator.
tell me why.
I don't like either of these movies a lot. I don't hate them, but I don't love them. They're just kind
Mhm.
of like in the middle for me. But Gladiator, great score, probably one of Russell Crowe's best films, best performances. Um, I do like I like the cinematography quite a bit. I think overall it's a more satisfying movie than Mr. and Mrs. because it you laugh, you cry, you get angry. Whereas Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's just kind of like this is just two hot people being hot on a screen. That's all. Like, there's
That is
really no
true. That
substance,
is actually true. Yes.
right? So yeah,
And
I'm gonna have to go with Gladiator.
all right. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is not a bad action movie. It really isn't.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
they're making a TV show, or they already made a TV show out of this
They did. I
with different
watched the
people.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the first 3 episodes. It's super boring. It
Yeah.
just
I,
doesn't
I
go
was
anywhere.
I was like you can't do that. You can maybe transition backwards. So TV to movie, I get, but
Hmm.
movie into television series, and eh, the charm was Brad Pitt. The sex appeal was both Pitt and Jolie.
Hmm.
You can't you can't translate that. Half the movie, or more than half the movie, is their interaction and his charm versus her
Their
charm.
chemistry together,
Yeah.
right? Like that really is. I remember like when that movie came out, seeing the trailers for it, and then there was the whole because Brad Pitt got divorced right after this movie came out, and there was all the speculation, right? So the
Yep.
selling point of Mr. and Mrs. Smith wasn't that this was an interesting idea. It was that we had two very charismatic and charming actors on screen, and they might be getting together while they're filming it.
It's literally the start of Brangelina.
That's it.
Literally the
Yeah.
start of Brangelina.
Like,
Um,
without that, I doubt that this film would have had as much fanfare as it did, in all honesty.
I'm pretty sure it kind of bombed in the box office, but I'm not sure.
It was great for
Gladiator
great
is
for
just
tabloids.
fantastic, but because it's such an epic and it's very very heavy, especially at the end,
Mhm.
it's not like if it's a Friday evening, I might even go with Mr. and Mrs. Smith as a throwaway, but the better movie is definitely Gladiator.
Yeah.
Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and The Matrix Revolutions. So a number two
Mhm.
and a number three.
Austin Powers.
Hands
Um,
down, Austin
yeah, hands
Powers.
down, Austin Powers. I like this era of comedy. I like that it's a bit of dirty humor. I like that it's on the nose humor. It's some of it's very dry, typical British humor. It all comes together very nicely. I like Heather Graham in this. Fat Bastard is quite funny as well. You can just kind of turn your brain off, and I think this still holds up 20 plus years later. In all honesty, Matrix Revolutions. I'm gonna be honest. I think I've watched it once or twice, but I don't really recall liking it. I remember it being a throwaway movie. Liked the first one, and then two and three are just kind of like, eh, these are whatever. So if I had to choose, it'd be Austin Powers.
I've seen The Matrix Revolutions in the theater after having
Oh,
suffered through Reloaded.
oh no.
It's terrible. I don't even know why I've seen the fourth one.
Oh, I didn't
It
bother with
was
it.
so awful. It was so
Goodness.
awful. Revolutions is just fucking it's so bad. It's really, really bad. Spy Who Shagged Me, you can watch this with your, let's say, mature kids, so 10, 9, 10, and above.
Hmm.
And it's just as funny and just as fun for them. All
Yes.
right, classics. Have you seen any of these?
I have seen both of those.
Nice. Gone with the Wind or Dirty Dozen?
I'm gonna go with Dirty Dozen.
Hands down, Dirty Dozen for me.
Hands down, Dirty
It's
Dozen.
just a fun action movie, an old school fun action movie. So a war
Yes.
movie. It's great. It's just great. Gone with the Wind is just boring. It's really boring.
It's not even that it's boring. It's just it's not my kind of movie. That's all. I'm not one for the romance movies really, so I don't care for it. But Dirty Dozen, my dad would watch that in the background, so it's like there's that exposure and fondness to it too. So I'd gladly watch that.
Yeah. All right. Me, myself, and Irene. This is our last pairing because time is short. Me, myself, and Irene, or the Man with the Golden Gun.
Man with the Golden Gun, easy pick.
The Man with the Golden Gun
Yeah.
is my favorite Roger Moore film of his era. I prefer Sean Connery,
Mhm.
but from all the Roger Moore movies, The Man with the Golden Gun is my favorite. I love the story in it. I know there's points in it where it made no sense at all. First of all, there's Sheriff Pepper. Anything he's in is just, he makes it great. But the fact that like Roger Moore is fighting a whole bunch of ninjas in a dojo, that's hilarious. It's
Agreed.
just hilarious. And there's one of the most famous car flips in a movie ever, where he drives off into a ramp that, like, a bridge isn't built like this, but he uses a car to jump, it flips, and it lands straight with Sheriff Pepper in the car. It's just great. Plus, Christopher Lee is in this.
Is that the one with Christopher Lee?
Yes.
Oh,
He's the man with the golden gun, the man with 3 nipples.
You're right. Oh
He's
no,
got 3 nipples.
that's the one.
And it had Knick Knack, which is just, he is adorable and yet psychotic.
Mhm.
It's just great. And the girl is Jenny Agutter, and she's like the best. She's named Midnight because that's where she's active. Not Midnight. She's Good Night. Sorry, Good Night. That's what she's named Good Night. That's because she's good at night.
And good at night. Yep. Lady of the night.
She's not Lady of the Night.
But you know what I mean.
She's good at night. All right. Enough of these shenanigans. Let's be serious.
It's
So-
gone in 60 seconds. We don't need to be serious.
So, the thing is this. After all this thing, the dog eating the dog eating the keys, everything is good. All that's left is Eleanor.
Mhm.
And we said, well, they made 7 of these cars. They trashed 5. They left with 2. That one of them didn't go anywhere because Jerry Bruckheimer is a scaredy cat, even though he's one of the best action movie producers ever. That's how it goes, I guess. So Memphis goes into this Leviathan that he's chasing and goes into the car and is like, okay, it's time to go. You got this. And he cranks up the car and he just, as soon as he cranks up the car, that's where the 2 cops kind of catch him. And
Mhm.
that's where the chase begins.
Mhm.
And like I said, it's all the bits and pieces driving through everywhere is all improvised. All of that is good. Eventually, like I said, it's about 10 minutes. He goes over a bridge. By the way, the bridge that they use is the bridge that connects the harbor to LA.
Mhm.
And when they shut it down for a full day, it was the first time it was shut down for that long ever. Like that was the first
Wow.
time that they shut down that particular bridge for that long of a period.
Hmm.
They shot a few movies there, but they usually use just the one lane and it was like a half a day or just the daytime or just the nighttime, but
Hmm.
they never fully closed it because they needed the one side to be full of cars to do the
Yeah.
jump and the other side to be as empty as possible so they can set up the entire film crew
Hmm.
and the safety people, all the people that, like, in case something happens they have to go and then just evacuate the stunt guy in case.
Oh, wow.
So they shut down everything, did the stunt and moved on. So as soon as Memphis goes over, that's where he's like free and clear because the cops are stuck in the bridge. He gets to Calitri and is like, "Okay, I've got your cars. I'm on board." And Calitri is like, "Yeah, you're 4 minutes late. It's like we're done. It's like our deal is off." It's like, and Memphis is still trying to reason with him.
Hmm.
Right? Remember at the start, he gave him like $10,000 or $40,000, and Kalitra's like, "I don't care about the fucking money.
I need cars, not money.
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
cars." And he explains him, "Look, I promised cars. If I don't deliver cars, I look bad to other people. I cannot look bad because I'll lose customers. I need these cars." And now he brings them 59 cars and a quarter or something, or and a half. And he's like, "Okay, just, $80,000, you've got a new car." And I was like, "Really? $80,000 for a body work on a fucking car? Is that expensive? It couldn't be that expensive." And again, this whole boost was like 300,000. That's it. It's not like millions. The cars are worth more than $300,000. I'm like, "Really? Just the 300,000 though?" Fine. Okay. And Calitri is like, "I don't care. Fucking kill Memphis, shred the car. I'll take the loss or whatever." And this is where you come to find out, yeah, Calitri is like, he's not only a terrible human being, he is ruthless. Like
Yeah.
he is supremely ruthless, and he doesn't look like a ruthless guy.
He's just
He
evil for the
looks
sake of evil, really. Because he's not really given any motive aside from I have someone I promised cars and I need those cars. So he just kind of goes all out evil by the time we get to this ending scene in the movie.
yeah. And the whole point with Calitri is like, I uh there's a certain moment where he's talking to Atlee, and Atlee's like, he's literally coming with the last car,
Hmm.
and it's like, "I don't care which rains is gonna die. It never rains, but it pours." He's like, "What the fuck does that
So
mean?"
dumb. Oh my goodness.
It's like, "I don't care. I'll kill this guy. I'll kill this Reigns or this Memphis Reigns or Kip Reigns. I don't care which one dies. One of them is gonna die. It never rains, but it pours." What
Hmm.
the fuck does that have to do with anything? It's the stupidest line ever. And
It is.
somebody wrote that line into the script. It's JJ. Somebody wrote that line into the script and he was very pleased of himself. It's there. It's like, "Oh, I snuck that joke in." It's like, no, it makes no sense. So he puts Memphis in the car to shred, but the cops are there because they were chasing Reigns. So
Hmm.
the cops are there. And remember, there's a moment we kind of skipped. This is the moment, by the way, and this is the sentence, 'cause, like, it made me so, like, chuckle and dumbfounded. There's a moment where the two detectives, they're grand larceny detectives, or they're just the car thief detectives.
Grand Theft Auto. There
Grand
you go.
Theft Auto detectives, right? And they're talking to their captain, and the captain is like, "You stay away from Kalitri. We want him for murder. Back the fuck off." This is like an FBI joint chief whatever case. Stay away from Kalitri. But Memphis is going there, and the detectives are going there as well.
Yes.
And at a certain point, they're like starting a fucking shootout, right? Because it's Kalitri's henchmen, right? They see the cops and they just start the shootout, and it just goes all over the place. And they
Ridiculous.
both Memphis and the detective, they're both going after Kalitri, and Kalitri is going through this. Going through this factory where they shred cars and stuff. And they have that sort of a fight. And Kalitri is like, "I've got Reigns, I've got him." And the cop comes, like Delroy comes from behind him, starts shooting. They shoot each other. And he realizes, oh, it's a cop. Okay, I'm going to kill you. I don't care. And Memphis saves the cop by pushing Kalitri off the ramp he was standing on straight into his own coffin that he built by his own hands, which is, to me, the classic of, oh, the gun that you see in the first act is what is used to be used as a killing thing in the second act, kind of a thing. That's sort of, it's a basic setup and payoff, right? You see it in the first act, it's introduced, and it's being used in the third act as either an ending or something to pay off. And to me, it was dumb as hell. Like, it was really dumb as it. Let's just say this: it was too convoluted for him to fall straight into his own office, into his own creation, and be buried in his coffin or die in his coffin.
He doesn't even die in the coffin. He just cracks his head on the side of it. He's not really in it.
Yeah, he falls on it, cracks his head, and
That's
it's
it.
broken in pieces, and he's just laying there. And that's the end of Kalitri. Which kind of brings us to this whole debate. It's like, okay, what we're gonna do now? It's your call, detective. As in, the ball's in your court. You decide. And the cop is like, "Yeah, you saved my life. I'll let you go this time. But be careful. Don't steal any more cars. You hear me?"
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. And I was like, it's a bit too. It's a too good to be true kind of ending.
Yes.
Where we used to see that mostly in the 80s, where it's all comes down to like a very happy ending. The lovable rogue makes peace with the cop that is chasing him, basically, and it's just a bit too good. But in the 2000s, where we're literally coming off from the 90s, where in the 90s you had a lot more of a grimy type of story in this kind of situation, where there's either an ambiguous ending or a happy ending, but not really, there's no interaction between good and evil, and there's no interaction between the anti-hero, which is the lovable rogue, the thief that does the good deed, and the cops. There's very few of them.
Yeah.
And it seems like, again, the same way as Kalitri's death is a little bit convoluted, the entire ending is a little bit too good to be true, kind of an ending. It's like, we're done here. We need to go. So what they do is they have a barbecue.
A barbecue. At the chop shop where the cops already were onto them and found out where they were doing, but It's okay. And then the guy that got shot, he's okay. It looks like it was just his arm that got shot.
Yeah.
Um,
And out of all this, they have another. To me, it was so dumb. The fact that suddenly Sphinx gives you like this philosophical kind of allegory about what happened to these guys as thieves, and understanding there's more to life than just these boosting cars.
mhm.
And Memphis has the dumbest thing. It's like, I thought you were from like Jersey or something. It's like,
Yeah, like from the area. He didn't expect him to have an accent. But
yeah, I
I
didn't.
like that. I, I like that he says this, like they intentionally make this scene about how he says this whole thing about how life is not just about stealing cars. And then in the next scene, Memphis is given a car, the car that he spent his, that
Yeah,
screwed him over time and time again throughout life.
yeah, it's literally they give him a gift. What? It's a broken down shell of a
It's a
car that is the
it's a
same
Shelby.
car. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's basically, but it's run down and torn up and like full of rust and all that stuff. And
Mhm.
he's happy with it. You know what's crazy? After Cage was in that car, the director had a tough time getting him out of that car
Really?
because it's an actual, not a replica Shelby GT 500 that they brought in
Oh.
with the original engine. And it's a working car. It's just
Mhm.
had a like the body needed work. That's it. But he liked that car so much. It was a hard time getting out of the car, and just because they don't shoot in sequence.
Yes, yeah. It's all just there's a schedule. It's
It's a
all dependent
schedule.
on yeah.
It's a thing. So they had to shoot something else, but he wouldn't come out of the car, and he just revved it up all the time, just for fun, because he loves cars, and he did all that training because he loved cars. And the director was like, "God damn it, Cage, Nick, please come out of the car. We need to shoot something else.
Play lowrider and then I'll get
Lay
on
on the
the car.
rider and just go." And that kind of brings us to the end. A disappointment, to be honest, and full-on disappointment. Not that I expected too much, because
Mhm.
I originally was like, it's a dumb, fun heist movie that at the time, generally at the time, so between 99 and 2002,
Mhm.
again, it was a transitional period between the 90s and the 2000s. Some of the movies were big hits. Some of the movies were like, they were marked, or they were sort of publicized as big hits, and they just fell flat. I'm not even sure how much this movie made. Usually I have like budget and gross box office. I didn't care so much this time, because it really doesn't matter if this movie made money or not, because Cage has a few moments where he's Cage, especially 90s Cage. Uh, and it seems like they didn't let him do it because they wanted him to be, they really wanted him to be the kind of Memphis that they envisioned, rather
Yeah.
than casting Nicolas Cage in that role.
Mhm.
And a lot of the stuff fell flat, including the action stuff. The comedy, there's bits and pieces of comedy rather than just full on. It's like they haven't decided if it's a comedy action or comedy heist, or what kind of movie is this. And it's a
Yeah.
bit of a hodgepodge of stuff.
It is, and then it's a shame too because this really very easily could have been tweaked to be at least more competent of a script where it's able to hit the serious notes, hit the action notes, hit the comedy notes all really well. Like honestly, much like the Ocean's movies did, right? Like the Ocean's movies had that really nice balance of okay, it's a bit dramatic, but we like to toss in some humor, but here's some stylistic like action and thriller elements as well to keep you engaged. If they had maybe kind of gone down that stylistic route, this and not hired J.J. Abrams, like this. I really could have. It wouldn't have been one of those movies that you just kind of forget about or just gets lost in obscurity. It would have been one of those. Oh, like that was actually a pretty like fun pre Fast and Furious car movie.
Yeah. Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I can't even compare this heist movie into the Ocean's 11 heist movie.
Oh, they're
Ocean's 11 is
uncomparable.
written so well,
Yeah.
but it also leans on something that is very hard to get, which is chemistry
Mhm.
on like on screen and off screen. So off
Mm.
screen, the cast of Ocean's 11 were really tight. On screen, it shows.
Yes.
The
Chemistry.
jokes that like you probably like on Ocean's 11, most of them were improvised on the moment, and they just kept it in because it was fun. They had fun making the movie, and it looked that way. This movie, I don't think, maybe Nicolas Cage and Robert Duvall got along. I don't see any chemistry between him and Angelina Jolie.
None. Yep.
I really don't. Even in that scene that they have together where they're hot and heavy,
Mhm.
it's not really
Not
there.
feeling it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really there. Uh, Sphinx is like detached. Like Vinny Jones, literally detached from anybody else. Seems
Mhm.
like he's like somebody they just landed in the part because they needed somebody to look menacing.
Yep.
And all the young crew is just not feeling it. It's so weird because Scott Kahn, the guy who like gets the keys or gets the dealer to hand him the keys, he's in Ocean's 11 and he does a much better job because his
Really?
interaction with Casey Affleck is just chef's
Mhm.
kiss, right? The two twins,
Yeah.
not twins, right? And this, it's just it's not really working. And there's no cohesion. There's no one thing that makes this crew a crew.
Yes.
So it's
Agreed.
just falls in the wayside. Anyway, that kind of brings us to the end. Anything else do you want to add in apart from what you said in terms of
Mm,
your stuff that you're doing?
Oh, I
Gaming
mean,
channel and
yeah,
regular
gaming
channel,
channel,
but you don't have any
video.
time for them.
Yeah, I'm trying to make time. I mean by the time this video comes out, I'll have new things coming in the works if March works out. But I try to post at least one review on the main channel every month. Um, so I think by the time this comes out, maybe a Rebel Moon review because part 2 is out in April.
Yep. Yep.
Um, that's yeah, I mean, I can't look that far into the future. So
All right.
but yeah,
It's fine.
content is coming. I'm on a lot of live streams every week. So if you follow me on my main channel, I put out a weekly post where I just shout out where I'm going to be. So you can always find out the latest there.
Of course, everything will be in the description down below. I promise because I actually meticulously do it because I don't want to forget because people take their time and talk to me. Anyway, from me, from Vex, to you guys out there, have a great week. And remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. Have a great evening.
Bye.
You're still here? It's over.